Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the cerebral. You can say it was kind of cerebral smack talkish. You can say it's wrestling form, whatever. But what we're talking about is NXT Takeover War Games. That's right. It went down here tonight, and oh my goodness, what a night it was. So we're not gonna wait. We're not gonna waste any time. We're diving in, and we started off with War Games. It was Team Candice LeRae versus Team Shotzi Blackheart. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the War Games was Team Candice LeRae as Raquel Gonzalez pins the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. Okay, so the way this broke down was very interesting. You had Dakota Kai, you had Ember Moon. They started off the War Games. Then, because Team Shotzi had the woman advantage, they ended up sending out Shotzi second. She wanted out, so she went second. Well, in turn, of course, Dakota Kai was in trouble. You bring the muscle, the heavy. Raquel Gonzalez went out. Third, Rhea Ripley goes out. Then we had fun. Raquel versus Rhea. That was a good battle for a little bit. Then, after that, Toni Storm enters into the fray. In the final period, Io Shirai goes out. Candice LeRae goes out. Well, no, wait, hold. Io did not go out. She got jumped right before there was no way she could get in. Basically, Toni Storm doing a smart move, locking the cage, would not let Io in. So Io was stuck in the mud, can't get out, can't get in. Candice comes out, so it looks like, alright, so it looks like Io and Candice is gonna go at it. They're gonna fight it out outside the War Games cage. No, because that's when Indy Hartwell came out. She jumps Io. Well, next thing we know, Candice was able to get in. There was a pinning combination. Referee's like, no, I can't count it. Io's not in the cage. Wait, what? She got out. She's out of the shark cage. What do you mean you can't count? What do you mean? Io's got to be inside the cage for the match beyond to begin? Well, Io got in the most epic way she could get in. Trash can plancha right into the cage. Every girl goes down. Now the match beyond begins. Now the War Games can start. Well, after chaos and everything else, in 35 minutes and 22 seconds, it was actually a monstrous ending as, like I said, Raquel Gonzalez choke slams Io Shirai through a ladder for the 1, 2, 3 and the War Games win. Alright. Number of factors here. This was a 4-star match. This was a great battle, a great War Games. Very good, nicely done. You had a lot of action. You had a lot of weapons. It was unique. I thought all the pairings were fun. I thought everybody played their roles really well. Great match. Big championship committee moment comes out of this as well. Raquel Gonzalez just pinned Io Shirai and won the War Games for her team. Candice is now no longer... Candice has become irrelevant. There's no way she gets a title shot now. She can't get a title shot now. There's no doubt in my mind. So, here's the way I see this. One, obviously Toni Storm and Ember Moon, they're going to have a rivalry. They got to go after each other. They're going to have a fight. So that's going to be one factor. Two, I feel like Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez is not solved yet. That story is not done with them. Now that Io Shirai got pinned here tonight, Raquel can say, well, I just knocked off the women's champion. I deserve a shot at the belt. Yes, you do, but you did lose to Rhea Ripley at Halloween Havoc about a month ago. About a month ago. So there's a situation where maybe a triple threat could be played out between Io, Rhea, and Raquel. I know Candice LeRae's going to say, well, I deserve an opportunity. I won the match. My team won, so I should get in it. I don't know, Candice. Especially what happened here tonight. I mean, yeah, your team won, but you weren't involved in the final decision. Not like Raquel did. Raquel won War Games for your team. So for me, I'm sorry, sweetheart, you're irrelevant. You don't deserve shit in my mind, and I'll go and say that wholeheartedly. Maybe you get a good swift ass kicking by Shotzi Blackheart with a brand new redesigned tank. I thought the first one was annoying. I'm gonna say it, guys. This new tank, Shotzi Blackheart, this one was pretty badass. I gotta give you that, Shotzi. Touche and well done. It definitely looks. Your new tank looks better than the last one. It definitely some major upgrades were done with that tank. So well done, good job on that. So, yeah, whatever the case may be, here we go. This just got very interesting. So 4 stars for me, Anthony Florio. It's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. First things first. Before we get into this, we want to take a moment to apologize to you wonderful fans out there for the abrupt cancellation of last night's NFL Saturday show. Um, Unexpected and unforeseen circumstances came up, and beyond our control, so we had no choice. But we're here and now. That's all that matters. Anywho, let's get into this. Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, he pointed out on commentary that Gonzalez's victory elevated her from the insurance policy to a genuine threat in the women's division. And he is absolutely right. If the war with Rhea Ripley a month ago was not enough, this match served as her coming out party. Gonzalez was a star here, overwhelming the competition and obliterating anyone in her path en route to the defining victory of her young career. Do not be surprised for a moment if she channels this win into an NXT Women's Championship victory over Io Shirai somewhere in the near future. Absolute championship committee moment there, MF. You absolutely nailed that on the head. Major props to Dakota Kai, who was very much the glue that held this one together, taking big bumps and popping up just in time to stay relevant throughout, despite being one of the first 2 competitors in the match. While some would insist the babyface team should go over, none of the participants on that side of the match loses anything in defeat. They are all established, while the heels needed a big win to set up challengers for Shirai. The finish was the right call, and now the NXT Women's Division has yet another star it can build around. Great booking, creative violence, and strong performances from the performers involved helped make this a fantastic way to kick things off. A late surging challenger to NXT Match of the Year for sure. 4 stars for me. It was a little rough early, but then once it got going, then everything picked up. So no question about it. Great way to start it off. So, excuse me. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, what a way to start it off. It looks like we had a championship committee moment tonight. It looks like Raquel Gonzalez is very likely going to be the next in line to challenge for the women's title. And I'm going to go on the record. I think she's going to dethrone Io Shirai and become the next women's champion, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. But as we've always said, Florio, to never go against Io Shirai, the genius of the sky. So it's a possibility, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. But anywho, 4 stars. I do agree. I mean, this was definitely a good way to start off Takeover Wargames, yes, it was a little bit rough at the beginning, but it really picked up at the end. And yeah, I mean, that new tank of Shotzi Blackheart looks badass. And yeah, and with the Io Shirai, I mean, with a plancha from the via a trash can as her way to get in.
What would Mauro Ranallo have done?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think we know what he would have done, Florio. He would have given a Mamma Mia!
Oh, he would have lost his mind.
Oh yeah, he would have lost his damn mind with that. And yeah, then at the end with Raquel Gonzalez with that choke slam onto the ladder. Yeah, I think with her pinning the champion, it's definitely going to be a championship committing moment. And yeah, and I think she should be next in line to challenge for EO's women's title. I mean, I know Candice LeRae is the captain of the team, and she'll probably say, "Hey, my team won. I deserve the shot." Nah, honey, nah, 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 nah. As our friend Luigi PS3 would say, you had your chances before. You're in the back of the line. Raquel Gonzalez pinned the champ, so she's the one who won it for your team, and she's the one that deserves the shot at the NXT Women's title. So, yeah, you may be the captain of the team, but you basically didn't prove anything to me. As far as I'm concerned, there's one person that still has a little bone to pick with you, and that's Shotzi Blackheart. So, yeah, so that's how I see everything going down. So, 4 stars for me. Nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, definitely 4 stars. This was awesome match. They did a great job, and that is an awesome tank that she's got now. So yeah, I'm not gonna add too much more. I mean, it was just a great night. So and a great night for the ladies. They did a great job tonight. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But there is a little bit of a side note, fellas. Dee Woodson basically shoved it down our throats on this one. She lone wolfed it, went with Team Candace, and comes out the big winner of the night. While myself, Florio, and Bullock all got egg on our faces. She's the one that made the omelet on all three of our asses. So props to Dee.
And we're gonna have to eat that slice of humble pie.
So props to Dee Woodson going out on a limb, calling for Team Candace to win the War Games and getting it right. So props to Dee for that one. She's the only one that lone wolfed it, called it, and got it. So yeah, big win for her. Well done. All right, guys. So next up we had was Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher. Tommaso Ciampa wins the match in 16 minutes and 46 seconds. Anthony, we said we were looking for a BMM fight. Lordy, did we get one?
What was that time again? I couldn't quite hear that.
1646.
1646. Oh, you just gave me chills, MF, because you brought back one of our early memories, long before Bullock and Dee came into our picture, from an old show we used to watch, and you used to do the Lordy. Oh yeah. Oh, I just brought back some memories. All right. No surprise about Ciampa winning. I mean, we had a feeling he was gonna get the Duke here, but if you like good, hard-hitting, and incredibly physical pro wrestling, Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher gave it to you in this one. With the most minimal build, they went out there and beat the ever-loving hell out of each other for little more than bragging rights. The shot that broke Thatcher's ear open, potentially rupturing his eardrum, was wicked, and some of the strikes the combatants unloaded on each other were sickening. They had a realistic wrestling match that looked like it hurt, made the viewer believe it did, and ended with a resourceful former champion seizing an opening for a much-needed win. The nod from Ciampa to Thatcher after the match was a nice show of respect, but the reaction of the heel suggests these two are far from finished with each other. That is a good thing for fans, but not necessarily the bodies of the performers. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was a fantastic match, and this was the Michael Fletcher be a man fight right here. That's all there is to say on that. And every time I see Timothy Thatcher in there, I respect him more and more and more. I mean, he reminds me of a young Kurt Angle. That's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of a young Kurt Angle, and that's all there is to say on that. And amazing. So great matchup here. So 3 3/4 to 4. That's my rating on this. So so Michael Bullock, I mean, if you like hoss fights, this was definitely for you. If not, it was not for the weak of heart.
Yeah, and we could say this here, Florio. This was not. I mean, we knew this wasn't going to be a wrestling match. This was going to be a fight. This was a be a man fight, and boy, howdy, it lived up to it. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. I agree. I mean, this was a smash mouth fight. I mean, you definitely expected it from these two. I mean, they definitely brought it, and yeah, something tells me that these two are far from finished with each other. And yeah, I mean, you gotta give credit to these two. I mean, with the minimal build that they had, they put on one hell of a fight here. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. This was definitely a beaming on the fight. This was an awesome match. These guys just, they took it to the limits. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
This was the one that had me salivating. I was loving every minute of it. The hard hitting, the brutality. This is what you guys always talk about. Oh, what constitutes in a be a man fight? This is what is a be a man fight. Two men going out there beating the living daylights out of each other. The shots were hard hitting. It was in your face, smash mouth. That knee that busted Timothy Thatcher's ear up. Oh my god, the blood coming through the thing. He looked like a psychotic heel. I'm like, oh, this is this. I'm gonna say it. I was on the Discord chat with a couple of my buddies, and we were just we just couldn't get away from this. This was a fight that we wanted to see. This was as brutal, bloody, of a battle that we wanted it to witness, and yet here it goes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Big deal. So awesome. So next up we had was another match, guys. It was actually for the Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Winner of the bout in 12 minutes and 52 seconds via submission was Dexter Lumis. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, this was an all right match. I mean, for the amount of time it did get. I mean, no surprise with the outcome. With Dexter Lumis winning this one, I'll give it about maybe 3 3/4 for the effort here. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more I'll add to it. So Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can give it about 3 stars. I mean, it was good. It wasn't the greatest match in the world, but yeah, it had a lot of creative spots that was just sprinkled throughout the whole thing. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
I mean, all right, good match, solid fight. I mean, even the way that they used the strap, I was cool with it. But I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I was thoroughly disappointed. I was looking for a lot more in this match. I mean, this felt like more like a cool down fight for me. This was not NXT TakeOver worthy in my eyes. Yes, I'll give it 3. But man, my expectations were dampered a lot in this match. I was really thinking, I think I'll openly admit it. I think my expectations were a lot more higher, and I was expecting a lot more out of this fight. But I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, it was okay. It was solid, but I was not happy with the way that this turned out. So I was disappointed. I think it's the key word. Anthony, it's yours.
To be honest, going into this, I thought this was going to be the worst fight of the night, and sure enough, I was right. Even though it wasn't like all that bad, but you know, based on the performers and the stipulation, there were a lot of questions heading into this match about Dexter Lumis's ability to perform up to the level of his opposition in NXT. His character work had been great to this point, but he had yet to deliver that one match that left fans convinced that he was at the level of the rest of the roster. Cameron Grimes is great. He busted his ass in this to help make it more than a tired old gimmick match, and it worked. He was fantastic and really deserves a more prominent position on the roster than he currently has. This was all about Lumis, though, who rose to the occasion and delivered his first real above-average match on a night when he absolutely had to. Grimes can easily recover from the loss and become a main event attraction next week if NXT officials want. He's that good of a performer and an even better character. Lumis needed the performance, can benefit from the win, and hopefully moves on to a new program that allows him to further explore his character. So this was about 3 to 3.25. It probably will be by default the worst fight of the night. So not much more to say. MF, let's get into our only title match on the card tonight.
The North American title on the line as the champion, Leon Ruff, puts the title on the line as he goes up against both Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano. When it's all said and done, the winner of the bout, 17 minutes and 28 seconds, and new North American champion, Johnny Gargano. He has done the three-peat. He's now a 3-time North American champion. Dee Woodson, you lead off.
Okay, my only beef is the fact that we had these masked idiots that were outside the ring, and no real reason why. There wasn't an explanation anywhere in the show of why we had to have these ghost face goofballs outside the ring, other than the fact that they were just there to help Johnny pull it off. Whatever. The match was going great. That's, like I said, that's my only beef, because the guy, I mean, these three, they tore it up tonight. This was a really good match. I'm gonna give it 3 3/4 to 4 stars. I mean, it was good, but I just don't understand the stupid ghost face idiots outside the ring. I mean, there's just no other way of saying it. I mean, it wasn't really something that needed to be there, because we know Gargano can pull things off without having backup. And here it made his win a little cheap, but he's the heel. It's supposed to be that way. So not much more I'm going to add. So it's yours, Fletch.
This easily could have been a fight of the night candidate, and it absolutely took the life out of the fight. You're absolutely right, Dee. The ghost face guys, the guys who interfered, and there were 7 of them. Now, the first 6 were plants, no doubt about it. We couldn't even determine who the first 6 were. The 7th, one of my friends on the Discord instantly knew who it was. Like, he knew instantly who the 7th one was. And once we found out who it was, oh man, of all guys, Austin Theory was the 7th one, and he helps Johnny Gargano win the title. I mean, like you said, it sucked the life out of the fight. This fight was easily 4 to 4.5, but because of the interference and because of all the stupidity of all these goofball McGundies, as I'll call them, they ruined the fight. 3.5 stars for me. This is a big indemnity that really didn't need to happen. It didn't. Just these three alone were stealing the fight. They were stealing the show. But you had to do that route. That's an instant goof up. And I don't know who the hell called for that. I'm sorry. NXT, your butts is in the birdie boiler right about now. Because you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to go down that route. Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and Leon Ruff were all playing their roles really well. Priest was the monster. The underdog was Leon Ruff, and Leon oh my God, this poor kid absolutely got destroyed in this fight. Some of the bumps were cringeworthy. We were feeling sorry for Leon through the whole way through. I feel sorry because he became a transitional champion just because of the fact that Johnny Gargano, Mr. Takeover, had to shine in the spotlight again. Okay, I get it. But not like that. Come on, guys. That's something you would see on WWE, not NXT. I'm sorry, Michael Bullock. I know this is your show and I know this is your company, but I gotta call your monkey asses out for this.
They have an appointment behind the barn with me.
Don't worry, Flex. I had a major problem with that, so you're not the only one who's calling them out.
So I'm sorry, man. This was 3 to 3.5. But man, this was so good until that army of ghosts showed up. Once the Ghostface army showed up, it basically took all the credibility away from this fight, man. And that's a damn shame because these three guys absolutely was tearing it up. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. At least the ghost faces made sense within the context of the story and the foundation that had been laid in the weeks prior to the show. There will be some, mainly us, who say they were unnecessary. And while we have a point and may have a point, what they did was allow Damian Priest to look like an unstoppable badass as he fended them all off, only to fall prey to one last unsuspected assailant. Leon Ruff looked like a star despite his smaller stature as he hung in there with both Gargano and Priest en route to a damn fine showing. Gargano winning probably makes the most sense, and his star power can help bring Austin Theory along, but one can only hope Leon Ruff is not out of the picture entirely. Furthermore, that Priest does not lose any momentum as his fantastic 2020 comes to an end. So I'm going to give it about 3.5 for the effort. I mean, it's just a damn shame that it had to go like this. But, it is a triple threat match. Anything goes in triple threat matches. There's no DQs. There's no countouts. So it was perfectly legal within the context of that. But still, it took away from what was going to be an incredible matchup. So 3.5 stars. And I think I can understand why MF didn't give us, what I and all the other fans out there want, and that is him channeling Gorilla Monsoon and saying history has been made because we had a new champion here. But if there was one time that he didn't do it, I could certainly understand this reasoning behind this. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Johnny Wrestling, his 18th takeover, his record-setting 18th takeover. He becomes a 3-time North American champion. But the way he did it, though, not worthy of history has been made in my book.
Yeah, and here's another thing, Florio. You really think he's worthy of being Johnny Takeover after the way he won it tonight?
Absolutely not.
Fletch?
I think we can all agree.
Nope.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're Johnny Takeover. You're supposed to do things your own way. You don't need any help. And this match didn't need these, or as Chris Jericho once said, these stupid idiot mutton heads.
Bunch of ham and eggers.
Yeah, bunch of freaking ham and eggers to come out and help them. And the other one being Austin Theory. No, I'm sorry. That just literally rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, this match was so good until you had to bring these jackasses out here. No, no. It literally rubbed me the wrong way. And I mean, I'm an NXT guy, but I'm sorry. I have to. Whoever came up with this idea, your asses need to be thrown into the woodshed, and Dee Dee Woodson is ready to whip the living hell out of whoever came up with that idea. So,
and I don't care if it's Triple H or who it is. I'll still whip them.
Okay then, but yeah. So somebody has some explaining to do, or as what is it? Oh, Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy would say. Well, it's not Lucy, but NXT. You got some explaining to do. So, yeah, they definitely had some explaining to do. So, I was ready to give this 4, maybe 4.25, but the last moments just really took the air out of this match. I'm only giving this 3.5 stars as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, I really got nothing more to say except please just take it before I really go off.
Well, now we're at the final fight of the night, which is Wargames. So, yeah, here we go, guys. It's Wargames, and it is the men's, the Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee and crew. The Undisputed Era wins the Wargames in 45 minutes. I believe it was Roderick Strong pinning one of the tag team champions. So, look, okay. At the end of the day, this was definitely the fight of the night. You could easily call this 4 3/4 to 5. Undisputed Era gets the win, but it also, a lot of things happened in this match that was really good. McAfee looked really good in this match again. He had one of the highlights of the night that Jeff Hardy jump off the top from the cage right through all the guys. He looked good. Adam Cole was awesome. Kyle O'Reilly was awesome. Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne with the limb manipulation. Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan looked amazing. Everybody had a role in this match. There was a great action all the way through. McAfee definitely earned his stripes tonight. Didn't get the fall. Did not lose the match. Therefore, you could definitely say, hey, even though he did lose, he didn't suffer the major loss. So, in one capacity, if you're Michael Bullock, probably not what you wanted. Because you probably wanted it to see McAfee take the loss, to shut him up once and for all. In a way, he didn't get that. His team lost, but he wasn't involved in the outcome. I believe it was Danny Burch that took the ultimate fall. So he's the one that lost Wargames, which oddly enough, you can call another championship committee moment. Undisputed Era should get another shot at the NXT tag team titles. Now that's a possibility now, and you can go from there. What are they going to do with Pete Dunne? Nobody knows. What are they going to do with Pat McAfee? Not known for sure. But this time around, unlike the first matchup, I think they kind of limited his potential this time around. Where he went one-on-one with Adam Cole the first time around, he was really good. He shined. He had his moments, but not. I don't think he was um as vocal or as opened up like he was in the last match, where really Adam Cole and him really pushed each other. This time he was more confined. You know, he was definitely playing the heel role really well. He did a good job with that. I liked how they played it. I thought everybody played their roles really well. Again, Red Dragon shined. They got the win. And for me, that opens the door for a number of possibilities. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish definitely solidifies themselves as the performers of NXT. But Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan looked great. Pete Dunne's never been in a bad fight. Any match he's ever done, he's been amazing, and everybody knows that. And for Pat McAfee, hey, for this being your second fight, being in the main event in War Games, well done. Very well done. Great performance for you, Pat. And I want to say congratulations. Well done, my friend. You definitely earned your stripes here tonight. Anthony Floyo, it's yours. 4 3/4 to an easy 5 stars, I'll call it. Obviously, fight of the night. And like we said, the right team won. Undisputed Era gets the major victory. But the question now becomes is what's next for Undisputed Era?
I don't know. Only time will tell. We'll have to see what happens come Wednesday night on NXT on USA. But anyways, I agree. This was the fight of the night. 4 3/4 to 5. This was appropriately wild, chaotic, and violent. It was everything it needed to be, with some great sequences from Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Pete Dunne to boot. The story of the bout was McAfee defying the odds and proving he belonged, as well as O'Reilly continued rise to the top of NXT as a singles competitor. Him getting the shine that he did and scoring the pinfall victory supports that idea. As good as the match was, this event was McAfee's dive off the cage would have meant more had we not seen it from Io Shirai earlier in the show. The setup to that was eerily similar as well. Maximizing those spots instead of replicating them should be the goal, and while it is admirable that management wants to make sure both women and men get the match hype, War Games is the match that I think might be better utilized in small doses. I mean, while it's nice to see two, I mean, we used to have just one back in the day, and that made it extra special. But, that's just a little pet peeve of mine. But hey, I'll gladly take two of these. I really will. Still, it was excellent, physical, and absolutely deserved the main event spot. Kudos to Pat McAfee for taking all the bumps and proving how natural a pro wrestling star he is. 4 3/4 to 5, easily the fight of the night. But then again, we all had a feeling it was going to be going in. So that's all there is to say. Michael Bullock, your boys did it again. Our boys did it again, and that was undisputed. It may not have come at the expense of Pat McAfee, but I'm sure you'll take the outcome anyway, right? Boom.
Hey, boom. It was definitely undisputed, and yes, it may not have been the way I wanted it, but hey, at least still Undisputed Era got the victory here. So, 4 3/4 to 5, easily the fight of the night. So, I mean, this was a physical battle. I mean, it's what we all expected. So now, what's next for these guys? Obviously, Bobby Fish and Kyle Riley are going to want a shot at the NXT tag team title, since I think one of them pinned the tag team champions. As far as for Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong, who knows with them? Maybe there could be one more bout with maybe Adam Cole and Pat McAfee, because I'm sure Adam Cole maybe wants to finish off this to finish off Pat once and for good. So we'll find out Wednesday night when the fallout from Takeover happens. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. This was an awesome match. Um, I don't know which one of them came up with the idea of having the Undisputed Era guys' names on 4 different tables with the logo. But if you notice, out of all of them, Strong was the only one they put through the table. And then I think it was Fish who put somebody through his table. But everybody else, the other 2 tables were mainly just McAfee's team going through them. McAfee went through one himself. So yeah, that was kind of a cool idea that they had to come up with that. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was kind of similar to the ladies' match, but it was still very well done, and they definitely tore it up tonight. And we even had a guy busted open. So yeah, it was very brutal match tonight. So not going to add too much more. It's your Sledge.
All right, and now we're going to get into our final thoughts on it. So, Anthony Florio, you lead off.
9 and 9.5. Another, well, actually, no. This was more, I would probably say, based on the body of work. I'm going to give this between 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I mean, this was another outstanding Takeover show tonight. The Wargames matches were both very well done. The North American title was on its way to becoming an all-time classic until that nonsense there. Thatcher and Ciampa definitely was the highlight of the undercard, and the strap match was far and away the worst fight of the night. And that's really all there is for me to say on this. Another outstanding Takeover, and NXT should applaud themselves. But if not for those couple of things, the mech strap match and the finish of that North American match, if not for those 2 things, we would have been talking 9.5 to 10 easy. But I'm sorry, I can't quite do that. But still a great show nonetheless. They always deliver. So nitpicks aside, this was an 8.5 to 9 for me. So Michael Bullock, how did your brand do tonight? How did your boys and gals do tonight in your eyes?
I'm with you. I'm with you, Florio. I'm going to give it 8.5 to 9. I mean, the War Games matches definitely delivered. I mean, the only nitpicks was the strap match and that stupid finish to that NXT North American title match. If those 2 things didn't happen, we would have had 9.5 to maybe 10. But it was still a damn good show, no doubt about it. It's just those 2 things just took a little bit away from it. So 8.5 to 9. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. There was just a few things to nitpick about. The biggest one for me, of course, was the ghost face guys. That was just not needed out there, and yeah, with knowing that one was Austin Theory didn't help matters either. I mean, we all know the history there, so not going to get into it, but yeah, this was definitely a good show. They delivered as usual, and we'll see what happens next on Wednesday night when we have the fallout from it. So not much more. Cheers, Fletch.
8.5 for me. This was a solid show. You guys pretty much touched everything, so we are done for the night. So, coming up, Monday night, tomorrow, will be another edition of Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio at 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately after Monday Night Raw. We got Raw. And then we got a Tony's Take with 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. On Wednesday Night Mayhem is back. We're going to do another episode on that. College Football Thursday, as always. Cerebral Smack Talk on Friday. Saturday is NFL Saturday, and hopefully we will be able to do all these shows this week. I know it's getting a little crazy with the holidays and everything else, but We'll try to get everything for you guys this week, and we'll try to get it all good. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Dee Dee Woodson. Thank you guys, as always. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. We will see you tomorrow night. Have a good night.